Life is crafting. Today's special.
Welcome to another video chat here on God is a Geek. We are talking about Endless Dungeon, and the man who has been playing Endless Dungeon is Mr. Adam Cook. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, buddy. Not too bad. So Endless Dungeon is described as a blend of roguelite, tactical action, and tower defense. It looks pretty cool. How is it?
Well, there's another buzzword you can throw in there as well, because it's also a twin-stick shooter.
Oh, beautiful.
It is one of those games where it's like the buzzwords make you sort of, I don't know, they either make you excited or they make you roll your eyes, because it's a lot. You know, like you say, you got the roguelite, you got the twin stick, you got the tower. So let's start with the tower defense stuff, okay? It's an isometric shooter, and there's classes and characters, you know, heroes almost, if you will. And I'm just going to get this out of the way early on, is apparently the previous Endless games, like there's lore here for you if you are into them. Like, this is actually my first, so I can't really speak to that. But, you know, I'm guessing the characters and the lore all is from those. That's what the developers said. So each character has a unique skill set. Like, one of the ones that really stuck out to me was there's like a character that it can heal, because I always gravitate towards the support. But the healer has to kill enemies to get souls, which are then reused to heal your buddies. Yeah. And that's kind of a good analogy for what's going on generally. Like, they've all got these unique skill sets. But because it's like a roguelike, you are also picking up buffs and things as you go through. So there was one level where I was playing as more of an assault-style character, and I got a buff that gave me 100% extra damage, but it meant I received 100% extra damage. So from being at the front of the trio of me and two other people, suddenly I had to sort of mid to back the rear, you know, because I was taking too much damage, but I could dish it out. So it's that. It's a twin-stick shooter. And the tower defense stuff comes in that there's like a crystal. You have to move from the start of each level to the end. And you move it. It's like a robot moves the crystal, and you have to protect the crystal from all these onrushing enemies. It's wave-based as well. As another buzzword for you, wave-based shooter. You have 3 resources, and every time you open a door in the Endless Dungeon, you gain resources. But you also could be opening a door to a wave of enemies, or you could be opening it to like a research room where you can unlock a different turret, because as you quite rightly said, it's a tower defense game. So you can put towers down that are like machine guns, but if you research by finding these research terminals, you could put down like a flame turret, because that's better against bugs, for example, or an electromagnetic one, which is better against the robot enemy types. So that's where the tactical element comes in. Yes, all this, by the way, is going on in seconds. That's the thing I want to get across to you. It's kind of, you do have moments of calm, but it's also, when it happens, it kicks off. Like, it really kicks off. The thing about the resources that's interesting is they're shared, including the health packs. So you start off with X amount of health packs, X amount of resources. So if you are not playing in a team-based way, shall we say, and running around opening loads of doors, getting loads of enemies coming at you, planting turrets wherever you want, using all the health packs, your teammates are screwed. Because if you use a health pack, that's one less health pack for someone else to use. If you use resources to build turrets, those resources are gone for everyone. So I can't stress enough how, based on what I've played so far, the only way I would play this game is, you can play it solo, and it gives you an AI companion who you can sort of control. But the only way I would play it would be like that, or with people I know are going to play in a communicative, tactical, cooperative way. On top of all of that, of course, there's bosses. You know, it's a dungeon crawler as well, so it's like, you know, there's bosses, there's all this stuff. You can get out of the level to the next one quite quickly, or you know, even when you get to the end of the level, you could just go, actually, well, I'm going to go and explore those doors because there are certain ones that are locked. You have to unlock them a certain. You're probably getting more of what I'm talking about from the video footage than what I'm explaining. But on top of all that, there's like a canteen. Reminds me of Star Wars a little bit, actually. There's a band playing. Minor complaint, but that song needs to have some sort of variation because it's like one person playing guitar and there's no other instrumentation, and it's like, okay, come on. But anyway, in that there you can craft stuff. It's got all that stuff as well. You can craft. You can upgrade your characters with different buffs. It's really difficult to get across what the experience is without playing it, because there's just kind of so much going on at any one time. It's good fun, I will say. I know maybe I don't sound too gone on it, but like it's one of those where I'm perhaps more conscious of trying to get across what it is than how I feel about it.
It does sound like
so
there's
much.
a lot going on. Like you say, there's a lot going on. Does it feel quite complex to play, or do you get kind of like into a flow of it and it all starts to kind of come together?
So I played for the best part of a morning with another journalist and one of the developers on the game, who was very helpful, like kind of babysat us through it. And I will say it was only, I think we started at 9 and I think it ran till 12ish. It was a few weeks ago now, but it was by the final sort of hour I felt I was understanding what was going on.
Yeah.
Part of that is because it's a bit. I'm trying to think of a game that reminds me of. There's a lot of discovery happens. Like there is a tutorial, okay, and the tutorial is very basic. It teaches you the very, very basic parts of the game. But because then once you actually start playing it, all of a sudden you're encountering things you just haven't seen before, which is cool, if you know what I mean. Because you're finding suddenly you're finding this thing that you don't. I'm not even going to spoil or say it, but what? Oh, that's interesting. You know, that's a really cool thing. Oh, I get it. So it's only kind of after repeated plays, repeated attempts, if you will, that you really come to understand the mechanics more and more and more. So I will say by the end of the session, I'd got it. I think it had clicked. I understood it. But I will say the first hour or two, I don't want to say were confusing. Because it is, at its core, you are running around, it's a twin-stick shooter, you're planting towers. Anyone can kind of understand that stuff.
Yeah.
It's the kind of more... the minutiae beneath all of that, all the mechanics, the meshing together, that by the end of like a 3-hour session, I was understanding, and I was feeling more confident. And whereas it started off with the developer was there like going, oh, let's open this door, we can do this, we can do that. By the end of it, I was just doing that and saying, oh, I'm going to open this. So I was more confident with the game. Yeah. And I think that's possibly a part of that is like Amplitude Studios have like done the 4X strategy games, you know, like I think Humankind was them. So these are these massively complex strategy games. And I know it sounds really silly because people are probably watching the footage going, it just looks like a twin stick shooter. And yeah, I guess to look at it, it is. But I can absolutely see the pedigree underneath of these grand strategy games. Like I can really see all the, and I hope that works for them. I hope that the balance is going to be difficult. It is going to be a tricky one to get right. There's a lot of characters. It's all got a balance. My only concern is, like I say, because of the shared resources, you have to play with people you know. And that's the requirement then is that you need 3 people playing this game on a regular.
Yes.
So if you love it, you need 2 others who love it. I just don't know that. I mean, I don't know. It might be one of those that gets a community of people who love it so much they play it properly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
It does seem like that kind of game. It doesn't seem like a Call of Duty where, you know, just everyone's playing it. It does feel like if you're playing this, you're in it for the right reasons. But I enjoyed it. I will play a bit more of it. I think when it comes closer to release. I want to play with friends, and it's coming in May, and it's coming to consoles as well. I don't know if it's the same date, but they have said it'll be cross play. But it's cross play between like PS4, PS5, not Xbox and PS4.
So, not cross platform.
Yeah, it's a good game. Really deep, really interesting. It's one of those. It feels like it's for a subset of the gaming audience. Do you know what I mean? It feels like it's for a certain fan of a certain genre, those who love Diablo's games or roguelikes. And
yeah, it's not a casual multiplayer. You kind of need to invest in it to get the most out of it.
100%. It just feels like one of those. It's for a certain subset of people. Yeah, but it's good. Yeah. It's a good game so far.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you can go and read more thoughts on God's Geek of NS Dungeon from Adam. Thanks for joining me, Adam.
Welcome.
If you want to watch out for more content, you can like, subscribe, hit the bell button, do what you need to do to gain access to our channel. That'd be much appreciated. There's always plenty of previews, review videos going up. The podcast, which brings me onto our Patreon. If you subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/GodIsAGeek, you get access to the live podcast when it happens, obviously, because that's what live means. But you get access to all other content as well. So thank you all for watching, and take care of yourselves. Bye bye.